All right, everyone, we're joined here by Houston Dash goalkeeper and captain Jane Campbell. I'll start with just opening remarks, and then we'll throw it to everybody here in the room. If we have anybody on Zoom, we'll take care of that as well. Jane, we'll start with opening remarks following today's match here against Utah Royals.
Yeah, big win here. First win at home this year. So that's obviously great. I think it took a little longer than we thought, but that's okay. And happy to get the first win and a really, really good result against a pretty crafty team. So really happy with the group and happy for Coach Fabrice and his staff as well.
Thank you for that. We'll start with questions here in the room. Theo?
Hey Jane, congratulations. Good performance tonight. I felt like, you mentioned it a little bit there about the win, sort of maybe a little bit for Fabrice and the team. There was some really nice scenes, I felt like, at full time on the bench and on the pitch. What were the words in the circle and the words you were sharing with each other after the win?
Yeah, I think it's just a good win. I think, it's been, I don't want to say like a rocky road, but we're definitely rebuilding this year and we're learning new things and trying to fit the puzzle pieces together. And we're definitely not anywhere close to, fitting this puzzle together and completing it. But it's definitely a good step in the right direction. And I think just it's hard, this league's hard. And, winning a game 1-0 is also very hard in this league. And so I think for us, we just wanted to come in and try and make some sort of statement, grab 3 points when we can and really just get ourselves some confidence going into the next few games. So I think for the message at the end of the game, it was, I think it's quite clear watching the game, it definitely wasn't the prettiest game by any means, but we'll take the 3 points and kind of take that confidence into the next week.
It felt like there were some really positive chunks, but it was sort of a game of chunks. First half quite even. Beginning of the second half, Utah had probably their best spell, but then last 20 minutes, probably the best spell of the game for the Dash. Take me into that, what you're thinking, what you're managing in those moments, because it felt like a big game, a big lesson for managing like 15, 10-minute spells, right? Yeah,
I think the first half, coming into halftime, I think we were all we thought about it as like a ping pong game. It was just 3 passes here, 2 passes here, 4 passes, and, I don't know if there was much rhythm from either team. It was just kind of like a stalemate, and, second half we kind of knew that Utah would probably come out and, Fabrice didn't really have many coaching points. He was just like, this is it. There's 45 minutes left, and it's just up to us. And so I think you definitely saw the waves of momentum in the second half. And I think, I hope and I think that the team as a collective, everyone, from top down, really felt as though like we needed the 3 points. And I think that's really when the momentum kind of turned for us. I think Utah came out really well in the first chunk of the second half. And I think we just kind of had to weather that storm, and then we were ready to go.
Last one for me, and I'll hand it to Manny. The turning point for me, and I'd be interested to hear about the mental side of this, is when Fabrice took off Danny and brought on Diana, and that felt just like a bit of a statement, right? You take off your 6, you put on a big centre forward. It felt like, here we go, at home, we're going for it. Did you feel that? Yeah,
I think our bench is quite deep. I think any 11 can start, and anyone can come on, and I think that's something really special about this group. And we all know Dee has an amazing presence here, and I know she's been itching to, get back in on the field and make an impact. So Danny's obviously a great player, and I think just like you said, putting on a 9 for a 6 is, probably not the most normal sub, but I think, like you said, it kind of sends a message to the team like, hey, this is now the game plan, and let's go get it.
We'll go right here. Yeah.
Jane, congratulations to you on the Dash. I'm Caesar with Viva Houston. So my question is, in terms of tonight's win, do you see that maybe as it could possibly be a turning point in the season for you guys, where you guys start getting more positive results? Is this, in terms of spirit-wise, is this a positive thing? You guys can build up on this?
I definitely think it's a positive spirit thing for sure. I think it'll give us confidence going into the next week, knowing we've got 3 points. I think a turning point, I think it's a bit early to say that, to be honest. I think we're only, 6 games in, and theirs is a long season, and we definitely don't want to be peaking next week, We still have a long way to go, and I mean that in a good way. There's so much more that we can build on and learn, and, knock on wood, not everyone gets injured, but there will be injuries. People will come in and out, and I think just gelling with the group more and more, and if we change formations, learning the new formation and what that'll do to an opponent. So I don't want to say it's a turning point now, but I definitely think it's a week where we've gained some confidence, and I think just spirits are a bit higher now. I think the first few games were quite frustrating, not getting results, and that's hard when you go on a spell of not getting 3 points. So we'll definitely take the win tonight and hopefully roll it into next weekend and try and get 3 next weekend.
Manny, go ahead.
Congrats on the win, Jane. I think most of all, I think the one that takes the headlights is Delaney Sheehan, but of course, the defense and yourself, the second clean sheet of the season. I feel like each game, it's defensively you're more sound, more cohesive. How is that going in each game, knowing that the defense are putting a shift, especially today against the Royals?
Yeah, I think for us, I think we view it as all 11 players defending, and I know obviously the back 5 tonight had a lot of work, but Utah's got a few players up front that are quite dangerous, and they've scored some ridiculous goals. So we knew that they were going to figure out a way to get something on frame. So I think we all knew that as a collective, we all were going to have to work pretty hard to kind of shut them down. And it's going to take all 11 of us to keep a clean sheet, not just the people in the back and myself. But super proud of the group as always. But every game we're just trying to get better, and every week we review the film knowing that it's not what we want it to be. So every week keep chipping away at it and hope to keep getting better, and everyone loves a clean sheet. I'll take that any day.
And last one, I think you were mentioning about, just the spells of time that you have of not winning, especially at home. It feels like it's always hard to get a win at home. Does that help to the team to get a bit more positive, especially next week? That's another home game, to just play with the same mentality, make positivity, and to get another win at home? Yeah,
I mean, I think, we all love playing here. No one likes travel, and, we have the best stadium in the league, we say. So we love playing here. So there's no reason why we can't have the momentum going into next weekend at home again. People are already saying it's wicked hot here, and to us it's still a spring, winter day, So we have all the advantage here, and we love playing here, and we got to figure out a way to make this place a place where we always win and bring in more fans, and people want to come see us, because no one wants to come, see us when we're not doing well. So we got to do well, and that's pressure on us, and we just know we have to perform. So hopefully it kicks us up the butt and tells us that we got to do better always at home. But especially for our fans here in Houston, they deserve something special.
Okay, I think we'll wrap up with that one. Jane, thank you very much.
Thanks, Joel.
Off, and then we'll throw 2 questions here, and anybody else that we may have on Zoom. Delaney, will start with opening remarks following today's game here against Utah.
I think the most thing that stands out is that it was really good to get our first home win. And after a couple tough games, getting 3 points was really important for us.
Thank you for that. We'll take questions. We'll start here, then work our way to Theo.
Hi, how's it going? First off, wanted to congratulate you on the win, and wanted to ask you, well, first off, you had an amazing goal. Can you walk us through a little bit of how you lived it on the field?
Yeah. First half, I had an opportunity that I didn't capitalize on. The ball came out, and so I was like, if the ball comes out in the second half, I'm shooting it no matter what. And so that's all I was thinking. So just shot it. Yeah, thank you.
Theo, go ahead.
Following up on that, did you get a video of that chance? Because I know the exact chance you're talking about. It comes to you, and there's a moment that sort of the defenders split, and then
Right.
you wait, and they just got too close. Did you
Yeah.
see a video of that halftime or anything?
No,
You
I just knew
you just
immediately.
felt it.
As soon as I passed the ball, I was like, oh my God. I had the whole goal open. So,
Yeah.
yeah. It was replaying in my head. The video was in my head.
Love that. You got
Yeah.
you don't need the iPad. It's
Yeah,
up there.
exactly.
I felt like even when obviously you scored the goal, amazing goal, congratulations.
Thank you.
But there was some really nice play before that, especially you had a switch to Maggie in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were taking touches to buy space in tight spaces as well. How much was this a confidence game for you even before the goal? It felt like maybe having Avery back as a support option on that side, maybe having Maggie as more of a wide option. It felt like you were just in your element even before the goal.
Yeah, I think especially after last week's game with Kansas City, we saw how good we can be defensively, how tight we are when we just kind of shift our mentality. So I knew that all of us would work that hard again. So if I lost the ball or I made mistakes, everyone to my right, left, in front of me was going to work hard. So I think that really helps with everybody in terms of confidence.
Last question for me. Utah sort of liked to have the ball, but I felt like what you as a collective you did really well tonight was you kept them mostly with the ball in a good part of the pitch for you. Talk me through the tactics behind that, kind of what you were feeling during the game and maybe what you were prepared for with Fabrice.
Yeah, I mean, all week we knew how they like to play, what they want to do. They especially want to use their goalkeeper in possession and play higher up, and she's really good with her feet, but at the same time they cough up the ball a lot. So we just tried to execute our press, and I think it paid off. We had a lot of opportunities off that. Of course, thank you.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
So tonight we saw a lot of attacking chances from you guys, a lot of very good chances actually, a couple of shots that were blocked by the keeper.
Yeah.
Do you think those plays come from a place of you guys already starting to play together, the new players that came in? We heard earlier being mentioned that you guys are starting to find your rhythm. Do you feel like that's the case?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think, we've had a couple of unfortunate results, but if you look at all the games, I think our progress has been immense, and maybe that last piece of both boxes, defending and attacking, is what's to come, and I think we're right there. So yeah, we left some goals off the sheet today, but I'm confident that moving forward we'll get those ones.
Go ahead,
Yep.
Manny.
Just a quick question from me. I think this game highlights you as a player. The goal, the tempo. On top of that is your 50th start in the NWSL.
Oh.
You
let me know that. Thank you.
The team let you know that. But how do you feel like on top of that, all that on one game? How do you feel that to share that moment with the whole team, to not only just for that of your individual performance, but also a win at home?
Yeah, I think not just the team, but with the fans and everybody that come out. I mean, I see those faces, and I've seen them. I recognize them already from just the last game at home. So it was just a really special moment for me with the fans, with the team. I mean, I think we deserved a win, and doing it at home was even better. Thank you.
We'll close with that one. Delaney, thank you very much. we'll go ahead and kick things off here with Houston Dash Head Coach Fabrice Gautrat. I'll go ahead and kick things off, and then we'll turn it over to questions. Fabrice, opening remarks following today's victory here over Utah.
Yeah, look, always feels good to get your first win, especially at home, so very positive. I think defensively, when we were very compact, we made it very hard to play through, and I thought we caught them in transition quite a number of times. I do think with the chances we created, even in the first half, I know it didn't show in an XG, but we had a couple moments where you're right inside the box. We decided to pass, it is what it is, but we had like 2 or 3 kind of clear-cut one-on-ones that I think we need to do better at. But overall, I think a solid performance, and we'll take the win.
Thank you for that. We'll take questions here in the room. Theo?
Hi, Fabrice. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I felt like there was some emotional, sort of good expression of feelings on the bench at full time, and just tell me about that moment, kind of you and your staff, and then the huddle as well.
Huddle meaning, sorry.
You and the play, like
At the end?
there was the final whistle moment. You and the bench, some really good stuff with your assistants, and then kind of what you were saying to the players in the huddle.
Yeah, look, I think obviously I think everyone's been pushing and working so hard, and this crazy game of football, you know, I think sometimes you dominate and you play really well and you don't come away with a result. And then I thought today, like, I thought we were good. I always think, you know, and what I said at the end is like, look, it takes a lot of work to get this, you know, this victory, and I thought the performances were good for the most part, but I think we should also leave here not completely satisfied, because I think we can give a lot more. But overall, again, maybe it's one of those first-time jitters. You just got to get it away, and then hopefully we can start moving forward. So.
Can you talk to me about the substitution, Diana, for Danny? I felt like that was a moment of the game. Not only tactically, it gave you a different look, you know, more physical, central presence, but it also showed, from your point of view, 17 minutes left. We're putting on a striker. We're taking off a 6. It felt like you spoke about this actually pre-game. You wanted like a mental, tactical change from your team. I felt like you were showing that on the sidelines.
Yeah, that's one for sure. We also, if you look at it too, Danny was also on a card. We dropped Maggie in the 6, who's very good in the 6, and I think it was just more of those like, all right, let's just, because she had a card, I felt like our lines were getting stretched. Obviously, we know Maggie's ability to cover ground, so that was also part of it. We also had a really good 9 in D, and she created a phenomenal 1v1 opportunity. So, yeah, part of it was that. Part of it was, okay, well, what do we need right now? And I felt we needed to kind of secure that space. We decided to go with Danny. Could have been Sheehan too, but I think, overall, good decision.
I'll pass it over to others. This is slightly off topic, but I did want to ask you, because I felt like I noticed you and Jimmy have an interaction before the game, maybe about your outfits. Can you tell me if you and Jimmy spoke about your outfits, because they are quite similar?
He's like, nice outfit, and I was like, I just kept it traditional today. Like, I just kept it low key. I mean, I'm always all black anyway, so we laughed about it. So for sure. Congratulations. Thank you, Theo. Appreciate it.
Manny, go ahead.
Hey, congrats on the win, Fabrice. I think I just want to mention about just how the game went. I think the Royals were controlling almost like more than 56% of the ball, but yet the midfield and your tactics adapted to the game. Was there any secret how the defense interacted with that position, but get most of the chances on the ball?
Yeah, so I thought defensively we sat a little bit lower, but we also picked them off in some really good moments. If I look back at our build, I don't think we played out enough. I think we went a little too direct, and one of our philosophies is we give a framework, but we also give freedom to the players, and sometimes it's hard for them to hear us. But so I think we could have been better at that, which would have maybe changed the possession numbers. But at the end of the day, I thought defensively we were pretty sound, and they had more of the ball, but were they getting behind our back line? Obviously, that spell in the beginning of the second half, like you could tell there was a little bit of momentum, but then I think as we switched things and put players on, the game definitely changed in our favor. So.
And I think this is a good thing to highlight. I think just the first win at home in the season. I think, as mentioned, we've talked to the players beforehand. I think it was very important to get that win. I think it comes in spells that a win at home, even though the players like to play here, want to get fans here. How important is that to get that first win just off the hook and maybe into the next game, which is next week at home, just to play with more calm and for more positivity?
Yeah, I think psychologically it's a big thing. You know what I mean? Just getting that under your belt, knowing it's possible, knowing that all the work you're putting in is you're seeing kind of the fruits of your labor. So, yeah, I'm. The hope and the expectation is okay. We got it under us now. Let's move forward in the right direction. So yeah, no, I think it's huge for sure.
Anything else before we wrap up? Nope. All right. Thank you very much, Fabrice.
Thank you guys, appreciate it.
Thank you.